Hello everybody, welcome to a getfitover40.com video. My name is Michael K, and today we're going to talk about what to do if your spouse or significant other just isn't interested in health and fitness like you are, right? Now I have received emails and questions and questions on YouTube about this. Typically it's guys talking about their wives, but this isn't always the case. It can be really any direction. It can be guys talking about their boyfriends. It can be wives talking about their husbands. It could be literally anybody. There's a lot of generalities, and I'm probably going to do that because I'm a guy and I have my own kind of, ideas and going on in my head. But I'll try not to use generalities too much during this video because it can really go in all directions. Of course, typically guys are like, they think they're the best thing going, right? It doesn't matter if they got a beer gut or not, they're still Mr. Universe. Women could be gorgeous, and they think that they see that they've got like thick ankles or whatnot, and all of a sudden they focus on that. That's the only thing they think about. They don't see all their other beautiful things about themselves. But guys can do that too. There's definitely guys with self-image body problems. There's women who obviously think that they're the best thing going too. We've all seen those ones, right? They're hot. Anyways, so let's get back to the topic here. What do you do if you're into health and fitness, and we're talking about not just, working out, getting big and huge or any of that. We could be talking about just general health and fitness. So just eating better, just getting exercise. So let's talk about the minimal side of things, right? And I've had people ask me questions like, what do I do? My wife just doesn't seem to care. I'm really trying to get work on my diet and just eat better. I'm really trying to get more active. My wife just is not interested. I'm concerned. And these people it's not always about, I want my wife to look hot. I want her to have a hot body. Again, I'm using the guy thing, but we can flip it around and switch it girl to guy. It's not always about that. They're just genuinely concerned that, the well-being of their spouse, and they would like them to also do this, right? Usually when you're into something, you want to share that with people, whatever it might be. If you're into a hobby, you're hoping that your spouse or your friend or whoever someone wants to share that interest with you, and that's pretty normal. And when you're talking about health and fitness, we're talking about, being better, healthy. We're talking about living longer, looking better too, of course, but it's living longer and living healthier and feeling better, right? So it's definitely a valid concern, I feel, and I'm very fortunate because my wife is also into health and fitness. She's always kind of been, I wouldn't say body conscious, but she's always been concerned or aware. She doesn't like it when she puts on weight. I think a lot of women don't like it, but she actually does something about it too, right? And unfortunately, this is getting a little personal. When she was younger, she had an eating disorder, like a lot of girls, even guys do. And she had bulimia, and but she overcame it. I think some of that was just an immaturity thing, being young, and priorities. And as she got older, her priorities changed. She became less focused on herself, because I think that's part of the problem, and more focused on family and the kids, and it took some of that off of her. But even before the kids, she got control of all that, and she realized what she needed to do the healthy thing, right? She started eating better and exercising and stuff. So, and she's carried that on. And the nice thing is we, even today, to this day, we both get out, we do exercise, we both have very similar eating styles, we both like to eat healthy. And a lot of the reason for that is because we want our kids to see how we eat, to see how we act, to see that we're fitness conscious, and it's not about being, super muscular and super skinny or any of that. It's just about being healthy, right? At the end of the day, and that's what we try to tell our kids: is you want to be healthy, you want to eat healthy, you want to get some activity in. It's just a healthy way to be. And so, what do you do? What do you do when your spouse isn't interested in it? I think the most important thing you can do is live by example, right? Is to, instead of trying to, beat them down and tell them they need to do this, that they're killing themselves or whatever, they're not going to feel good the way they eat, they're not going to look good. Don't tell them that. Just live by example. Hopefully they'll see the transition that you're going through. They'll see where you started from and where you've gotten to and how you feel, And they'll see that, and hopefully they'll start to come to you, right? Because if, as is with all spouses, if you tell your spouse what they need to do, that's the last thing they're going to do, right? And that's just the way it is. I mean, we always get on each other's backs about some things, and as soon as you pipe up and mention something, at least this is in my case, if I mention something or have a suggestion, it's not going to go over nearly as well as I think it will. And the funny thing is a lot of times somebody completely random, a stranger, could tell them the same thing, and they'll be like, wow, I just got this insight today. This is like unbelievable information. And you've been, kind of trying to mention it to them all along, but all of a sudden some stranger, some random out of the blue person, and it's like, it's the word, right? So that's just life. That's just what happens. So don't think that you're the only one going through that. And that works back and forth, right? Men to women, women to men. It's just the way it is. We don't always take heed to what our spouses are telling us, even though it's valid and it's important. So, maybe you need to listen to your wife or your husband a little bit more. If you're trying to get them to do something, maybe you should listen to them too. And maybe you'll both start to, just the way it is, right? That's just life. I'm not a counselor, obviously. So here again, getting back to it, live by example. And, what I find too is and going back to the generalities, one thing that sometimes happens is if a spouse sees the other spouse getting better and fitter and stuff, and they're not there yet, and maybe they're body conscious, sometimes they're going to feel even worse about themselves. They actually will want their spouse to go back to the way they were, because it makes them feel worse about themselves. And so when you start asking them to do it, it just is like rubbing salt in a wound, right? Because they already feel bad about themselves. They see you getting fitter, healthier. Maybe they're not there yet. They haven't realized that they can do it too, or they don't think they can. And so they actually feel worse because you're getting better. In their eyes, they're getting worse, and they just feel worse about themselves. So you have to be supportive, right? And maybe there's other parts of the relationship that you need to work on first, and repair those parts of your relationship. The communication. It can't just be about health and fitness. If everything else is sucking in your relationship, you just can't expect that to be a focal point, and you guys are just going to get on the same program, because it's just not going to happen. You need to work on other aspects of your relationship and make sure other things are healthy before maybe even that can take place, right? So again, live by example. Don't push your spouse. That's not going to help. Work on other parts of your relationship that are outside of the whole health and fitness thing. Maybe try to do something for your spouse that they maybe been wanting you to do, and take that first step and the initiative to try and do something else, right? And then maybe they're going to feel like, hey, my spouse did this for me. Maybe I'll give this health and fitness thing a try, because I know it's important to them. Okay, hopefully this has helped you a bit. I'm not the best person to talk about this, because my wife she's on board with the whole health and fitness thing. But, again, I have to be careful too, even with health and fitness. And even though I think I'm a bit of an expert sometimes, she doesn't think so. So I've got to be careful what I say to her, how I approach her, because like I said, she'll sometimes take the advice of other people over me. I think that's just normal in relationships. All right, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Till next time, take care.